out for you while I'm gone, okay? Stand. Hold your hand higher. Good boy. Reward him. There you go.
Yeah, I trained him mostly myself at home.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so he is very smart, and he performed very well. There were only a couple of times where he was difficult. Didn't do what I wanted, like when he steals the shoes.
Yeah.
You would think that would be the easiest thing. Like he does that naturally. That's not even something you have to train a ferret to do. You show them shoes, especially big ones. They're, they belong to the ferret now. They're going to steal them, put them under a couch, whatever. But you take your ferret out to a new environment where they've never been before, and then show them shoes, and they don't give a crap because they're like, where am I? And they're, looking around the perimeter and sniffing and pooping in the corners, and then they slowly start rearranging things and putting things away and where they're supposed to go. Meanwhile, we've got like a 40-person crew sitting here watching, waiting in anticipation that he's going to steal this shoe. And he's running around the room doing all this different... So that shot actually took like 2 days.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we tried for like an hour, and then we had to move on and get other shots. So we gave up and then tried again the next day. And luckily on the second day he did it. Wow. So that was one of the challenges, and also the cell phone trick at the end. That was a really tough one.
That was a very cool trick.
Yeah, that was good. But he was in the middle of the forest for that, right? So it was, and it had just started to rain. So like, what you don't see is somebody is holding something above him so he doesn't get wet. And it was like the middle of the night. It was the last shot of the movie. It was, oh man.
Wow.
That was a tough one. But everything else, he can roll over and he can go from A to B and he can do a lot of things. But mostly I just used his natural behaviors, like the scene where he knocks over a can of pop, right? I knew he was going to do that. I'm like, okay, everybody just put the pop next to Connor, right? Back him away, action. Okay, we just wait. And he goes for it every time, knocks it over. So that was no problem.
Oh, that's good.
Hey!
How did you kind of teach him to do these tricks and act apart from the pop? There's a few pretty cool and very nifty tricks in there. How do you go about teaching a ferret to do tricks?
It depends. Like, is there one in particular you want to know about?
For example, the one in the trailer, maybe where he stands up and...
oh, okay. Yeah, standing up is actually a really simple trick. But he's very good at it. You might notice that he bounces and he's got his little spine straight up. I'm just lucky that he does it like that. But basically,
it's so cute.
I know, right? All I do is I hold a treat above his head and I have my hand flat out, right? And I say stand. And it's just about repetition. He picks things up really quickly. So usually what you want to do is make them follow the treat with your hand really slowly, whatever you're trying to teach. So if you're trying to teach them to roll over, the first step of that is that you have the treat right in front of their nose, and you very slowly move it around the back of their head so that they have to turn and then follow it, and they end up rolling over. And you just keep doing that over and over and over again until eventually you're just making the motion in the air in front of them and they're doing it. So just repetition. Another important thing is you must reward them immediately. So if you want them to stand and they stand, immediately give them a treat. Really, you have to rush to give it to them so that they know what they're being rewarded for. And with Falcor, it only takes him a couple of times, and then he'll know, okay, I stood on this piece of wood, I got a treat, right? Yeah. So now, anytime I show him this piece of wood, he's going to stand on it. So I use that sometimes if I want him to go from it's called an A to B, if I want him to go from the left side of the room to the right side of the room. I'll put a piece of wood that he recognizes on the right side of the room, I'll show it to him, we'll back him up, put him on the left, and he'll come running over to the piece of wood, because he knows if he stands on it, I'm going to give him a treat.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and if you mess up on that, if they do a trick for you and you don't reward them, they're gonna unlearn this, you know? So I never give him treats unless he does a trick. There has never ever been a time where I've just handed him a treat for free. He has to work for it every time, and his memory is like super sharp because of that. So those are some of my best tips I think that I could give.
That's exciting. I'm gonna have to attempt this myself. What treat do you give him?
I give him a variety of things now. He likes the ferritone, like Fervite, the stuff that comes out of the tube, even like ferret lax. He likes that. As long as you're not giving too much, it's fine. He also likes like the little Marshall's Bandits ferret treats, which he actually did a commercial for them once. So I have a lot of those. But yeah, he loves like all flavors of that. And those are his two main things. It's good if you have more than that, though. It's just he isn't on a raw diet, but a lot of ferrets are. So I know that for some people, like seeing some like raw chicken would be a really good motivator. I think it's because they go crazy for it, or chicken baby food. He really likes that. So. Yeah, you just have to find what your ferret likes, and what my animal wrangler would call is the hot treats. So the hot is like the best thing that they could ever have, and you save that for like worst case scenario, right? Yeah. And you try to start with the things like the Bandits ferret treats or the Ferrovite or whatever first, and then if you're having trouble, you've got like this backup plan of the hot treats. It's a really good bonding experience when you're training your ferret. So I highly recommend it, even if your ferret is not a movie star.
Let's get lost. Let's get moving. Let's get lost. Let's get moving. Make a journey across the sea. Cruising through time zones and coral reefs. Stranded on an island with me. I'm sure you won't mind. I'll pack enough party for 3. Your top 10 records, a bottle of wine. We'll stuff ourselves with poetry. Make a toast to the moon and the coming of the night. Let's get lost. Let's get moving. Let's get lost. Let's get moving. Let's get lost. Let's get moving, yeah.
Do you have to have them separate from other ferrets?
When you're training, you mean?
Yeah.
No, you don't have to. It depends. Like,
You dropped it?
I have 2, and Frisco, I don't know why, he's just not into it, you know? He'll roll over, but he does like a half stand, and he doesn't do anything else. Mostly he just hangs out and he watches while Falcor does his thing, and then he tries to steal like the leftovers or whatever. So.
Sounds like a smart one.
Yeah, that's what people say. He's actually smart. He doesn't have to work for his tricks. Yeah, so I don't find it a problem. But you might find that another ferret gets in the way. Like if your ferret's trying to roll over and he's hitting into somebody else, that's going to be a problem. So you might want to separate them. It just depends what you're doing.
And do you have a favorite trick?
Is that your cell phone?
Falcor plays dead now, so I get him to stand up, and then I point a gun at him, and I say bang, and he drops dead.
A real gun?
No, my hand. I turn my hand into a gun. Yeah.
Cool.
Really shoot him. Yeah.
That was successful.
Only do it one time, though.
Yeah. Falcor, are you okay?
You a trick?
Yeah.
Were you expecting to get so much buzz around Jake and Jasper?
Oh, you did.
I was hoping for it, but I don't think anybody really knows, you know, what's going to happen. I think I would sound really cocky if I said, yeah, I was expecting it. I was definitely hoping, because I'm a ferret person and I know, like, I would die to see a ferret movie, you know, in the theater or something, right? I would definitely go to it. I don't even care what it's about.
Yeah.
But if it's positive like that, you know, because we have, like, what, Harry Potter, there's a ferret in it for, like, a second or something.
I know,
And
didn't these kids killed or something?
I don't know. I don't watch the Harry Potter movies. I've just heard this, and I think it's in, like, 2 of them or something. But people go crazy about it because there's a ferret for, like, 2 seconds at the end or something, you know? So, anyways, what was the question again?
Were you expecting to get as much buzz around this movie?
Oh, yeah. So I was hoping, because I know I would be excited about it, but I didn't know for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And so I heard that there might be some plans to turn Jake and Jasper into a feature film. Is this true?
Not anymore.
No? That's because you have another project coming up, which is very exciting.
That's right. Yeah, I'm in pre-production on my first feature film that I'll be directing called The Ferret Squad.
Very exciting. Tell us more about it.
Yeah, okay. Well, it's about a boy and a ferret, and his dad, and they move to California, where ferrets are illegal. So the boy actually smuggles the ferret across the border into California. His dad doesn't know this. And when they get to California, he meets his new neighbors who have this kind of secret club called the Ferret Squad. So it's about 5 or 6, 13, 14-year-old kids who rescue ferrets in California. And this is made difficult because of the fact that they have to do it secretly, because ferrets are illegal there. And also because 2 of the kids in the Ferret Squad, their mom works for the California Fish and Game Department. California Fish and Game Commission. Yeah. And that's, the very reason that ferrets are illegal. So they, have to keep this a secret from their mom and everyone else. And there's, some crazy adventures. There's a lot of ferrets. There's a boy ferret named Digger, and there's a girl ferret named Delilah. And, there's going to be scenes of ferret shelters. That's where Digger comes from, is a shelter. There's going to be a pet shop, too, but there's going to be rescues of all these different ferrets. And I've cast Connor Stanhope in the lead role of Max Jones.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, well, he's just great. He's an awesome actor, and he just has this great chemistry with animals. And so the character of Max really is him. It's great. And then I also cast, I don't know if you remember the guy that plays the principal in Jasper. Yeah, Blue Man Kuma, who's actually a really, really well-known actor. He was in 2012 and RoboCop, and he's a voice on My Little Pony. And
I love My Little Pony.
Yeah, I think he plays Fluttershy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the voice of that one, and the show Reboot. And if you look on his IMDb page, he's got like 1,000 credits. But lucky for me, he lives in Vancouver and he's cool. So he wants to be in this one too. And so he's going to play the other neighbor, Jarvis Baines, who raises homing pigeons in his backyard. And at first he isn't sure about the ferret thing. He finds out about it and he's worried that they're going to kill his birds and stuff. But we address that, and that definitely doesn't happen. And he actually helps the Ferret Squad on a big mission, a big rescue mission at the end of the film, where a bunch of ferrets from a shelter have been confiscated by animal control. And so all the kids go on this huge rescue mission led by Max and Jarvis, who drives the truck, to rescue these ferrets and get them out of California to safety.
Aww, that sounds fantastic. I can't wait to see it.
I can't wait to film it. I'm super excited. We're going to be fundraising, and yeah, if I can get the same kind of support I got for Jake and Jasper, then I'm going to be shooting the Ferret Squad this summer.
Fantastic.
Yay.
Well, you definitely have the support of Ferret-World, and hopefully the community as well.
Awesome. They've been supportive already, actually. I mean, we've already got 400 fans on the Facebook page for it, which I think is pretty impressive since we have like almost nothing out there about it.
Yeah.